Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft server, and let's get right into it. I want to be building an elevator to get up and down between our different floors, and this has been a problem in my mind for some time. Now there are two places that the elevators are going to go. We're going to have one over on this side and then opposite diagonally one behind the little entrance over there. So somewhere between the edge of that and the beacon beams there'll be an elevator system on that side and over on this side as well. That's been the plan for the longest time, but the reason that I've been putting off building an elevator over here is because of the nature of elevators in Minecraft. Now, I've probably done some on my channel before in the past, you probably see it on other channels, and if you go search them up you'll find that most elevators that Redstoners make and release are kind of designed to be used in a particular way with, let's say, a set interval of floors. Now if we look at the layout of my base, the floors are going to be at different heights and we're going to move around the base in many different ways, meaning that our elevator needs to be very flexible, and there are not a lot of designs out there that are actually this flexible. Now I've thought about how our elevator is going to work. We're going to have two different systems. We're going to have a system for going up floor by floor and another system for coming down. And it is the coming down design that I've actually sort of dreamed up in my head, so to speak, which is a strange turn of phrase if ever there was one. But here's the thing, when you're doing redstone you've got to think ahead, you've got to plan out. And there's always some variables that you might miss or get wrong. And you know, I wish I'd have prepared a tiny bit more actually. We need like a way out of here. And this is it, apparently, a little tunnel through there. For now, this is my demonstration. That'll of course go down to the next floor and then to the one below that. So we're going to start off with a trapdoor. The reason why, we can control it with redstone, and you know what, straight away I can see so much stuff getting in the way here. We're going to power it with this block over here, so let's put a repeater down there. And we're going to have some water on this. So to hold back the water, we're going to need pressure plates. And then we're going to need blocks on either side, which we now have. So the water's going to go there. The idea is that we walk into this thing and we drop down below, which we've sort of done just using the pressure plate alone. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I think it's a good thing, because you can just go whoop and walk into it. Now there's the other problem, that we don't want to go all the way across. And I think, well, I did have an idea for how we'd deal with that, but actually no. That could be a problem because we're going to put a bit of string there and we're going to put an observer block over here, and the observer block is, funny enough, the wrong way around. Now you may remember a trick where we used to have string in front of pistons that were bub powered and that would update it. Well, how can I demonstrate this to you? I do have a piston. Let's put a piston on the back of this. Let's walk into the string, and you can see the string provides it with an update when we walk in and an update when we walk away. So this thing can be used to transfer a redstone signal. Wonderful. We have repeaters, we have redstone, and I would like to see this one here. We're going to put that on the second setting and this one on the first, as I think a one tick won't be enough. Although let's give it a test first of all. So that would be the shortest delay between us moving into that string and going down onto the signal moving down below. So the problem with doing that is that the pressure plates are actually powering this, so we kind of need to set up an example of us dropping down, because remember, this is our downwards elevator. Now here is where I could put in a trapdoor and close it like this, so when we walk across we'll never go further in that direction than the trapdoor at the bottom opens, right? Is that making sense? So I'm going to walk forward, we're going to drop down. Okay, and that wasn't enough delay. As I thought, we need 2 ticks on the bottom. So let's try that again. This is us simulating dropping from above, right? We drop down and then we fall down again, and there'll be another one of these below us. Now the idea here is that this requires no consistent spacing. You could have a 10 block gap or a 100 block gap, or even just a 3 block gap, and you can separate your floors like that, which is pretty cool. So you can also walk into it and go down, which is great, and then you can drop from above. But the thing I'm thinking at the moment is we have one floor, which is this trapdoor. We can actually just walk all the way across and get caught on it. So I wonder if there's a way to circumvent that. So at the top here, all we need is this. We don't actually need the observer because that's for when we come from above. So the idea is we walk in, we fall down, and then if we don't move out, we fall down again. But that's important because we might want to move out. We might only be going to this floor down here. So I'm going to simulate us falling down by hopping on top of there and walking forward. So let's say we drop down and actually want to get off of this floor. Well, I can hold down spacebar if I'm not quick enough, but I moved forward and maybe that wasn't fast enough. So perhaps actually having some delay here would be a good idea. Let's try that again. So we walk forwards. I want to get off here, I walk forward and I'm out. That's it, we're gone. Now another thing that I've done is I've moved this trapdoor so it's on this side because you're quite likely to walk all the way into the corner, and if you make that a practice then you're never going to get caught on the hitbox of that trapdoor. Now we could use something different. Actually an idea really did just pop into my head then, which would be to use a fence gate. That would stop you, but it would also elevate you slightly as well, which could be a problem. But then the redstone could open it and you would drop through it. And then you could use a piston and have some moving parts as well. I'm not sure. I'm liking this. I think the trapdoor is the way to go. So initially I thought the extra half a block height you'd get from standing on it would be a problem. That's because you'd hit your head on this thing if you tried to leave, but we don't need this thing anymore because we're not using a trapdoor. And I think that also means that we can set the delay to the shortest setup, which is 1 on top, 2 on the bottom, because you're half a block higher. So when this thing opens, you start moving down, you're still able to move out of this thing, which I think, yeah, let's give it a try. That'll make the most sense probably. Okay, so we drop down, we want to leave this floor, so we move forward. And you saw there I waited for a moment, I could feel it, I could feel myself start to drop down, and then we were able to move out of the water, which is just fantastic. So that is our way of going down. We can go down 1 floor, we can go down 2 floors if we just stay in the same place, and basically when travelling down, all we got to do is look outwards and go, this is my floor, let's get off here. So that bit has been figured out, and the reason that we're separating going down and going up is because that can usually mean you've got to use an elevator in a particular way. So let's talk about going up. In front of us here, we've got a design that you may have seen before. The way this one works is that the piston extends, it pushes up, and then the next one comes out, that one pushes up, and you move upwards like this, right? And all of that happens really quickly thanks to the way it's wired up with redstone, and that moves you from the bottom to the top really quick. And we might just use that design. However, as a player standing here and the pistons pushing us up, the server does not calculate the player's position very well, and that means that you can glitch and fall through these pistons from time to time, which is no good at all. So what you often see is elevators like this, except they use a llama or, you know, an animal that you can ride like a pig, I guess, and sometimes a minecart as well. And that's because the server calculates the position of those things without any problems, so you can zip all the way up to the top. Now the problem with having this in a multi-floor elevator design is that your llama is going to get stuck on a floor, and then let's say you wander around your base, go to a different part, and you come back on a different floor, your minecart or llama is now not available to you. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to split our upwards elevators per floor. So over on this side we would have another one, except I need you to imagine that this is actually on the floor below, right? So if I want to go from the floor below to this one, we have one exclusive elevator. It takes me up, then the minecart or the llama, whatever we choose to use, drops back down, ready for use again. However, if I want to continue going upwards, then I get out and I get into this one over here, and that takes me up, and then the llama or minecart drops back down. But the key thing to remember here is, yes, of course, it's going to take you a little bit more time when you move from one to the other, but every floor will always have its minecart or llama ready for you to use. So you will always be able to go up a floor or down a floor, depending on what you want to do. And that is the logic that we're going to work with here. And obviously the next step for me is to actually build one of these upward elevators so we can figure out what's going on. Thank goodness for video editing, otherwise these episodes would be very long. Very long indeed. Unfortunately, the piston design I just showed you ain't going to work reliably, not even with a llama. And I actually found the video where I saw a llama in an elevator, and it was very different and not the kind of thing that we want to build here. We are actually going to take it back to Season 3. If you've been around since then, you'll remember this one. In my base, we made an elevator using minecarts and slime blocks. And here it is, redesigned for the observer block. This is something that DocM has already built on this server, and I've taken his design and used it here. And you know what? It's really good. Unfortunately, it seems to be a little bit unreliable, and that might be because I've missed something in the redstone, which is entirely possible, but every now and then this block here get stuck a block lower and you can't actually start the contraption. And it keeps happening on all of them because I built 3 of these. And they're going to take us to the floor above. Now, admittedly, I think the idea that I've got here is pretty good, but some of the crazy redstoners out there could come up with better ways of doing this faster. So, if we get in this minecart, it's going to sling us up into the sky, and then we drop down, and we are resting here with this tripwire that I've made. Now, originally, I built this with a whole bunch of redstone, as you can see back here. There's all this extra stuff that basically isn't necessary. All we need is the tripwire at the top to push out a block and stop us from going back down again. So that's how we go upwards. To go down, we just stay here, right? And it's not terribly fast. I've got a feeling this could be faster. And why? I never did the redstone for this bit. Right, so if you walk into it, you stand on the pressure plate. But if you're falling down, you need the redstone. So remind yourself to do that, of course. So this is this floor. It's 10 blocks below the next floor above. And from here, we can use the elevator, as this is the lowest one down I've built. So it's the same design, takes us up, we turn around, we arrive up here, and we get flung into the air, and once again we've got a tripwire. Then the next one is on this side, so it is kind of a little bit tedious going upwards if you want to go from bottom to top, but the point is that you can stop at any point during your journey, which I think is fantastic. And it also got me thinking there's got to be like easier ways of doing this, and I want another elevator over on the other side. We will definitely do a different system over there, and then over time we'll be able to see which one is better. So my noggin has been going through some ideas, getting inspired and stuff, and we're going to do some other cool elevators later on in the season, but that's what we're doing for now. And I really like this. There's just one more observation that I want to make, is that this thing kind of flings you up into the air. So when you actually get to the floor that you want, and what did I tell you, this thing, there it is right there, it's broken again. It's actually this one that breaks more often than the, I know why. Do I know why? No I don't. I had a vague idea as to why, but then I realised no, that's not the problem. So anyway, I can't remember what I was saying, something about it flinging you up into the sky. Let's go up one more time. So we go pretty high, right? And then we drop back down. So depending on the distance between the 2 floors, you might just come up just to the right height and pop down on that thing quickly, or you might waste a little bit of time going up in the air and then landing again. It's not a perfect system, but it gets the job done and I like it. And obviously we do not want to keep all of this grey stone everywhere, so the next step for us to do is to come in here and start decorating it. And I think what it would be wise to do is to decorate each floor the same way that the floor it's on has been decorated as well, and then that way when you're looking around it's very obvious what floor you're coming to. So it's a little bit bare, but it kind of just follows what we've done already. And maybe what this needs is a few leaf blocks scattered around in this corner. Actually, saying that out loud sounds like the right thing to do. I was wondering if we should put something on the walls like this and have a torch on top of it, but of course we're not doing that. We're not putting torches down. There we go. For lighting. So what I've actually got is some glowstone just hidden behind the top of the wall, which is why it looks slightly brighter up there. But because it's daytime, you can't really tell. Otherwise, it's pretty moody over here, and there's no water in the corner because we're not dropping down from above. We're only ever going straight down here, so that's why that is like so, unless we ever decide to add something above here, which would probably look pretty cool. What was the idea? I just had leaves, literally just leaves. I want to grab some of those right now before I forget. You know, we haven't put a lot of leaves jumbled around randomly on this floor. Maybe that's something I'll do at some point, like in a live stream, just mess around with it for a while, because it could add a little bit more here. It certainly looks good over in this space, and I kind of want to put a leaf block right there, but that won't work. Do you know what? I haven't tested this thing, by the way. We might have a little bit of a problem with it. Let's drop down below. You can see I haven't touched this floor at all. We're going to do one floor at a time. Pop into here, and back up we come, and then when I get out, what happens? Oh, we go right in front of it. Well, that's excellent, because it was tending to put me in that direction, and then I built a wall where that was, and you may or may not have noticed this. This is actually all 1 block lower down now. Same for the drop. Move stuff around just so it's level with the floor here. So I'm feeling like I might not just have the groove today. I've made this little entranceway here, just taking what we've already got and moving it into this area, and that's kind of what we're left with on the inside, as we have established our pallet very firmly on this floor, and we're not really sure what to do for this room. So I've been messing around with putting some terracotta blocks in the floor, but the shape of this room doesn't really lend itself to much other than something rather boring. This pattern as well doesn't really look good unless you put it in its, primary way of connecting, which is clearly this. Maybe I need to mess around with that more, but I think what we're going to end up with, and is that the right way? Yes, it is basically that's in a grid like so. And then I'll have to remove that block there. So a group of 4. That should be lined up. And that just looks a little bit plain. Maybe that's what we go with. I don't know. But what I have done is I put some doors on either side. And where we've done that before, above the doors there is a lot of the powdered clay that goes up very high. So that makes me wonder if we should use that to kind of raise the roof in this room a little bit. But these will be maintenance doors. So this one allows us to come to the furnace array, which I do plan on changing, and this storage system over here. And then on the opposite side we'll be able to visit the other storage system and all of that, whatever else is back here. Nothing about this next step feels right at all. I am taking out some really good enchantments from in here, and we're going to end up putting them on armor stands like these ones right here. The reality is, though, these things have just sat around in a chest doing nothing most of the time, so putting them on the armor stands ain't going to be too bad. Do we have any more boots? The only thing we got is damage boots, which means I've used them before. Thing is, they're not going to appear damaged when they're on the armor stand, right? Now, I have barely replaced any of my armor this season because we've done a tremendous job not dying, and when I have died, it's been doing little challenges and stuff, so we kept all of our armor. And actually, let's wander in here and let's check out the room. So using all this armor in here will be fine. It's pretty cool. I feel like the ceiling is a little bit plain because it's all just stone bricks. I'm going to actually change that up with some other slabs, and maybe some of these tall parts of the room just need a tiny bit more detail as well. But otherwise, it's really cool. We've got fire in the room, and yes, I've deliberately put wool, which is flammable, as well as the wood, directly behind it, just for my amusement. And then behind these bits, we've got the powdered concrete. But here is where our sets of armor are going to go. And this is kind of cool, actually, using these. I said I wanted to do this kind of stuff more this season, because it's typical of me not to decorate rooms in this way, you know. As I'm doing it right now, I'm stressing about putting these valuable sets of diamond armor just wasted on an armor stand, but like I said, they just sit in that chest doing nothing, so them being on display is actually probably a little bit better. And if ever we need some decent armor, probably means we're going to have to go around and dismantle some armor stands, right? But otherwise, that's got a real nice feel about it. I like the floor. It's a bit of a plain pattern, but it fills in the space. And then the walls here, just looking terrific, really. One thing I haven't done is tried this thing out. We might bang our head on the ceiling a little bit here. Let's hope this one still works. Yep, that's the one that seems to break every so often. And that was absolutely fine, wasn't it? Oh, this has worked out very good. I want to use this one as well. Let's go up. Bam. That is awesome. Wow. Okay, so 2 floors are done. This one is definitely my favourite. So now we'll move down and we'll do the 3rd floor. So I've taken a trip to the end, a much needed trip to the end, repaired all of my tools because my picks, all of them, were down to their last legs. So good to get all the stuff repaired, ready to go again, and just wanted to comment and say if you can hear rain in the background, I apologise. It is very rainy and loud today here in England. I woke up, it was raining, it's been raining all morning, and it feels like one of those days where it's going to rain from morning to evening, which I can't remember for quite some time actually. But enough about the British weather, let's check out what's going on here. So I wanted to just push back the same pattern and create a little bit of a tunnel with that, and I like what's going on here. However, the pattern doesn't continue over this middle block, as you can see. So that's where we're going to put lighting. I'm going to put glass there. We've got glowstone above, and then we've just got this like cross section in the middle, and we open it back up on this side because, to be fair, it kind of looked odd to continue this bit through the middle. So I figured, why don't we mirror what we've got going on here in the other side? So I've gathered some clay, which is now called terracotta and also called hardened clay, and we've got our stone brick stairs. So I think what we do, actually it kind of looks like it's going to be higher on this side, but this is where the stone brick stairs go, right? In that corner there, just above that trim. That's correct, and yeah, the clay goes even higher. And that might actually be a little bit of a problem, or maybe not. I guess if it were a problem, we'd probably see some of the floor above in that space. So, actually, no, it's probably not going to be a problem. And we'll probably put some redstone lamps up there as well, because we're not seeing the floor of the one above, so we can easily fit in a lamp and power it as well. For the floor here, I want to try this, because it's kind of the natural shape that emerges, although it'll probably look pretty hideous. I'm not sure. Don't look so great from over here. Also got to fill in these gaps, don't I? Because those blocks are going to fall down, as we just saw a second ago. So something like that leading to this room will end up with a different shape going into. Maybe we could just continue that all the way in. It's kind of weird, like, but it points you in that direction. Anyway, when it comes to the ceiling, I've pretty much got this sussed out. We're going to have either 2 or 4 lamps in a grid like this, but you can see that there's going to be an extra gap over on that side there. And then here, what we got to do is move it away because the slime block is going to push out. So I figured, well, this is probably going to look neater if we bring all of that forward by 1 block. And then if we do so on this side over here as well, then we solve the problem of the position of our lamps being out of place. And then it means we end up with some sort of trim on this side that falls down a little bit. It should be doable. Should be able to get a nice look out of this room. Alright, we are done here. I put in some new terracotta. This was the only one that I really felt kind of fit in with this room. The orange terracotta. There's too much other colours in there. And although this one's got that cyan, the brown just feels a little bit more neutral. And they're all sort of facing the same way, aren't they? I might tweak that or change it. But for now, it's good. And that's another floor done. And also I blocked off the corner by mistake, so I fixed that. And if we go down to the floor below, I was going to do this one as well, but then I was thinking we kind of established the theme in here, but I'm not sure if it's going to change that much, you know, because we got a whole other part of the floor to build, and then there's what we're going to be building in this area as well. There's a lot more planned for this floor, and it might mean that this stuff changes. So for now, I think I'm going to leave this floor of the elevator alone. So it's time to leave the base. We need to take a break. You know, we've been stuck in here working on the elevator rooms, which have turned out really good. Very happy with those. We're going to go do something we've already done before, so I'm not going to be showing you all of it on this channel. We're going to go play Hot Swap again. This time we're playing with Mumbo, who's just logged in. I'm going to fly over to the Hot Swap place, so I'll probably show you that in this video. But if you want to see the full Hot Swap challenge, you want to head over to the second channel. It'll be uploaded there, so there'll be a link in the description box. But for now, we got to fly over to the area that I still believe doesn't have a name, which is our equivalent of Hermit Frills this season. We're going to head over there and check out the Hot Swap challenge place. Mumbo, you want to see a magic trick?
Yes, please.
Oh, now I've changed colour.
You do
it as well.
Into like Batman.
Yeah, it's Batman. Oh, look at that.
How? Why does that happen? Is there any particular reason why that happens?
I don't know. It's a very strange lighting bug. Thing is, when you're on this section here with the torch, no problem at all. Oh, and over here it's okay as well. Yeah, when we come into this area. So it's just that one.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I can see it on my sword.
It might be cursed. We
Maybe.
might be walking on cursed land.
You might be onto something there.
Oh, look.
What's going? No, because even if you stand on that torch.
If anyone could explain this, we would love to know.
Yeah, this is like the new broken shaders mod that we have. we have or something.
Darkness shade, no shading, just nothing but shadow. There's no light.
Yeah, just either no shadow or 100% dark shadow, absolutely nothing else. That's exactly. That's how we're going to do it.
So anyway. we're doing the Hot Swap challenge today, but we're also both visiting this place for the first time, I believe. And
yes, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, have a look around. So this is the gaming district. Currently there's not a lot of games because it's only just been started. And then immediately a prank was done by by Cub and Scar. Hardworking Clown Union. HWCU. Right. Does that stand for something?
I'm sure it's another NHO or something like that. All the acronyms, I struggle to keep up with them all, but that does look like one.
Yeah, there seems to be some sort of rebellion against Zedaf, who's like the coordinator of this area. 50 IS coins, brilliant. Oh, this is cool. This is very cool.
But yeah,
I
saw this. I saw this as I just came through. It looks pretty fancy. Like, I haven't seen anything like this before. And one thing that I'm always impressed by, because this is something that I struggle with, is like building things that actually look like real life things.
Yeah, it's tricky.
And this
isn't it?
looks like a circus tent. Like if I tried to build a circus tent, it would look like just a cone. That's kind of how mine would go.
Yeah, just a giant cone.
Yeah.
The sort you can put ice cream in. Oh.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But I can kind of build like some okay looking things in Minecraft as long as they don't have to look like something that isn't already in Mine. As long as they don't have to look like something in real life.
I know
think that
exactly
makes
where
sense.
you're coming from, man. I struggle with the
Right.
same thing. And for other people,
Yeah.
it's the other way around because it's like, oh, all you
Yeah.
got to do is copy what you see, but that never works
No,
for me.
I seem to just my brain just doesn't. It can't translate real life things into block form. It just doesn't happen in the slightest. It just goes horribly wrong.
Dude, there's Bug Boy over here. This guy's kind of creepy.
I was gonna say these things are.
It's like a freak show in here.
Guy.
Got the dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's got a parrot. What? How is that possible? Villagers don't
I like the
display
nose. Is the nose poking through? I think the nose is poking through
It
as well.
is.
That is really scary.
That is... And we've got a dancing cow. I
Yeah.
thought villagers couldn't display armor and items that are equipped on. I got to look into that. What is doing that? That
I
is...
don't know.
That's really
That's
freaky.
true, actually.
I love this. I want to put the heads on villagers and have them roam around my base if that's a thing. Because that is just superb. Oh mate, I got an idea there. Oh, then we got a bunch of silly looking llamas, pigs with saddles, and the tightrope.
I was gonna say I think we got a type right here. I'm gonna see if I can. How did you get up there so easy? Oh, I see.
There's a ladder.
I've been doing things a difficult way.
Were you on the wrong side of the ladder?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, that's the first chat. That's the professional super circus goer way of getting up there. If you're like a true circus champion.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So distractions aside, we're actually here to check out the giant lava bucket, which really does look like a 3D lava bucket.
Yeah. I mean, these are... I don't know how people can build things like this. Once again, mine would just look like probably an iron cone again. Everything would just all my builds end up looking like cones.
Yeah. Oh, build a tree. Oh, look, you built a cone. So if you want to see all of that, then you'll have to head over to the second channel. That would have actually been posted yesterday, so you might be slightly confused. And we're coming in here because I'm going to need a whole bunch of shulker boxes again. I have been harvesting the wool in preparation for a prank, which I'm hoping I can kind of organise and sort out because it's a big and very ambitious prank, and I've actually been doing many sessions, long sessions of AFK sheep farming. I've even been live streaming Sky Factory Free with my patrons, as I've also logged into Hermitcraft farming up loads of wool. I should have really counted how many shulker boxes there were there, because look, these things are going all over the place, and the last thing I want is some shulker boxes despawning, right? That was kind of silly of me. So we've got a hopper there and a couple more of them over here. So we have 10 of them. I'm pretty sure that is all of the shulker box. I didn't press spacebar, or did I? I don't know. But I fell, and it made me panic, and I sounded like a buffoon, probably. Anyway, let's go over here and check up on how much of this stuff we have stashed up. Hi. Pop down here. Oh my goodness me. This is why I came over here. Two things. First of all, I had a suspicion that this might be backed up all the way. I didn't think about this. Oh, look at that. It's actually backed up all the way. So some wool would have been wasted. However, given that there's not full stacks here, I reckon that we didn't waste a lot of stuff. The other problem is that shears are getting into this system, right? That's not good. We don't want that to happen. Let me tell you the change that I made that then meant we had shears coming into this system, which is of course a bad thing, and I'll scan through the rest of that later. What I did is I came over here, I removed this grass block, I put a hopper facing downwards, one below it facing that way, and then another one here facing into the chest. Now the hitbox of those hoppers should mean there's no way that this thing can dispense into them, which I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get what's going on, right? It should only be able to land on that one and go back into the system. Strange stuff. But you can probably guess the reason I've come over here is to do some more AFK sheep farming, and I've got to fill up these shulker boxes and empty it all first of all. So I think that's a good place to wrap up the video, and I just want to end by saying, if you like the guitar videos that I do, or you haven't checked them out, go over to my second channel and check that out. I put out a cover of a song that I've been practicing for a while that really challenged me, and I was ever so happy with how it turned out. So go over there and check out the guitar videos that I've been doing, having a lot of fun with that. And thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye bye.